Hello again and welcome back to Messing with Resin, and today I am making another silicone mould. I had an idea to try something and you will see what it is further along in this video. So I'm just mixing the silicone and I have the items ready for the mould making process. I covered some lolly sticks in some sticky tape to make the housing, and as you can see I've got some plasticine around the outside so the silicone can't leak out from underneath. Just leave that to sit there and let them bubbles pop, as you can see that one there, and then I will go ahead and pour it over the items that I've created to make my mould. I'm going to pour in the middle of each one first because it has got a indentation in it. Apologies for any banging or noise that you hear. It's rather windy here today, and as always I'm sitting in my shed doing the voiceover of this video, so I do apologise for that in advance. But once I've filled those cavities with the silicone, I then go ahead and tip the remaining silicone around the outside and then basically just cover the whole surface. And this one, it does get bubbly when you mix it, this particular silicone, but I've turned my heat mat off, so it's rather chilly in my shed, and the bubbles do disperse as this dries. They all come to the top and just pop. But if it was too hot that wouldn't happen, so that's hence why my heat mat has been turned off, so I can make this mould. Just making sure I get every single last drop of silicone I can out of that pot. I don't go over with a clicky lighter, I don't spritz it with isopropyl alcohol. All I do is just to make sure that there are no bubbles around those circles on the inside. As you can see there, I'm just swirling it round, and then I will remove my plaque with my name and website on that I made for myself and give the board a good old tap just to make sure any big bubbles come to the surface and to level out the silicone. So here we go, a nice vicious tap. And then I'm going to cover that and leave that to dry overnight, and then I will come back and hopefully it's worked and I can unmold the items and carry on. So here we are the next day. I did use some sticky tape, as you can see, just to hold that all together. So we'll remove that first. As you can see, I stuck it under the bolt. And then let's pick that up. It should come off pretty easy because the plasticine won't stick to the board. You can see that does dry out as well, so that comes off in one piece, which is good. You can see the tape's coming off the lolly sticks, it didn't want to stick to that. So I'm going to take off the backing first, and for this, like I've said before in my previous silicone making moulds, I use the vinyl layering tape. I did put latex on the bottom of these in case any silicone decided to go underneath. This one was being more problematic to get off, as you can see. I'm picking at it but just couldn't get it, and then I managed to. You can see that comes off nice and easy. I'm just going to move all that out the way, and then I can remove the lolly sticks. I know they will come away easy because, like I said at the beginning of this video, I covered them in some tape. I'm not sure whether the silicone would adhere to wood, I'm not too sure with these particular lolly sticks. So I've trimmed up all the excess, and now we can take out the bits that we use to make the moulds, and so far so good. So this is the first stage of my idea. I've made these two different shapes because, you know, that's two different varieties for this particular idea, but I'm just going to be using the circle one, and we are now ready to do a resin pour. So I have my white resin mixed and bubble free because it's been sat there for a while, and I'm just going to fill up my new mould. And then I won't be using a clicky lighter on this because it's my own made silicone mould, so it's a little bit softer than, say, a one that's made like on a production line, so to speak. So I will just carefully go around the edge to make sure there's no bubbles sticking, and all I'll do is just give this a spritz with some isopropyl alcohol, get that out, and then just leave that to dry. And my idea will be revealed in the next section of this video, so unless you've already skipped forward, thank you for staying with me. This is a bit longer than my normal videos. Just making sure that that resin goes everywhere in my mould. And give it a spritz. And then I'll cover it up. And like I said, then I'll just come back and unmold it. Okie dokie, it's the next day, it's all dry. You can see that it comes out of my own made mould very easy. There we go, still a little bit soft, but that's not too much of a problem because I can carry on and do what I want to make. Okay, so I just smoothed off the edges. I also made this partial bookmark type thing, and I have a circle photo of my mum, and I've basically made a little photo frame. I'm using a sticky dot to stick the photo into the circle when I can peel the thing off of there. So I'm just going to apply the sticky dot to the photo. I'm not making a shaker. I'm not going to be adding nothing on the inside, just the photo. So because of the sticky dot, I've got to make sure I get it as central as possible and then gently pat it down so it won't move. And then I have this angel that I've already made from a mould that my daughter bought me from Shen for my birthday. And I'm going to sit those two items on there and make a memorial item in memory of my lovely mum. So I stuck those on with UV resin to hold them in place. I will be adding those flowers. I put latex around the outside because I'm going to be doming to make sure that that is completely done. And I'm back now that resin is dry. You can see the latex is still wet underneath, but that's not a problem. That pulls off nice and easy for any overspill while I'm doming. And that is the almost finished item, and I'm so happy with this idea and how it looks. So here we are, completely finished. I've added some 3D coloured roses, a lovely memory for my mum that's going to sit in my shed. And yeah, thank you for watching, and until next time, bye.